and today I am going on an adventure that's a little bit different for me. Adventure that involves a little bit of water. That's your clue. I'm standing in the garden. It's 10 o'clock this morning and I'm sort of underneath the sweet pea. The garden has taken off. We've been really harvesting everything from beetroot to onions to potatoes to peas and beans and cauliflower. So it's been a very, very busy time in the garden, but there's more ahead. So let's get off on our adventure this morning and just enjoy Fermanagh, County Fermanagh, local adventure today. Well, it looks as if we're heading towards the water. Man with a jerry can is a bit of a clue. Here's the water and here's the boat. REL Quicksilver 530. And here we are, Lough Erne. Beautiful Lough Erne. Enniskillen. And we're looking at Old Monastry. Looking forward to this little trip with Rory. And I'm not sure exactly where he's going to take us, but I think we're heading to the lower loch, which is that away towards Enniskillen Castle and the West Bridge. So here we go. Aye. Little bit of reversing, Rory. Yes. Just very manoeuvrable. And now we're on the water. It's getting very, very warm. No, I wasn't expecting it to be like this. That's just gorgeous, isn't it? You're restricted to 5 miles per hour here, aren't you?
5 knots.
5 knots, sorry, 5 knots. 5 knots. I need to get into the naval terminology. Yes. I'm not really into that. Yeah, okay.
6 miles an hour.
Yeah. Getting our first view of Enniskillen and the 2 spires of the cathedral and the chapel. Plus we're now going to pass the forum. Enniskillen's premier leisure centre. So what depth are we at here, Rory?
15 feet. 15
feet? Yeah. Okay. Is that consistently like that the whole way?
No, it's but I think 5-6 metres most of the way through the park. Dredge. There's 17 feet there.
How deep does it get in Lough Erne?
64, charted to 64 metres.
64 metres?
Oh, but there's a wee bit northwest of the deepest point. It's actually 74.
Right. That's deep.
Metres northwest. 230 something feet. Right. You'll not touch the bottom.
Definitely not. Radio Hoy here. Music playing. What do we want? Q101 or something? Or something like that. Yeah.
Lovely. GPS affects the other ones.
Yeah. So what is the left dial? That's telling me we're 5 miles.
Speed.
5 knots?
5 knots. Or 5 miles per hour.
Yeah.
There's just what fuel you're burning, 0.4 per gallon an hour.
Right.
You go 11 miles to a gallon.
Right.
Use no fuel.
The one on the right, that's the
your
depth?
rev counter. No, that's your depth there.
Oh, depth over there.
Your rev counter, your temperature, your engine hours, your battery voltage. So
everything there. So we're currently at 11 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're now just passing Castle Island. And there's a lot of names for it, but it's Castle Island basically, and there's a sort of an activity centre on it. But we're passing by on the left hand side because the right hand side's blocked off. This is absolutely gorgeous. Look at how still the lake is. Some jetties. We'll shortly be coming up to the West Bridge and the castle. Do you know the history of the castle, Rory?
Not the whole pile. 1500s, Maguire, stronghold.
Yeah.
I don't know the ins and outs.
Yeah.
Read up on.
Yeah. I think you're right. It was the Maguires who built it in the 14th or 15th century, and then
the Watergate actually had a gate in it. You know, way back in the day, the lake would have been higher. Maybe like Trader's Gate in Tarlock.
Yeah.
You can see the shadow at some point.
Yeah.
On the stonework.
Yeah.
You won't see that.
That's lovely. Within the castle there is a museum, and the museum is all to do with the regiments, the Enniskillen regiments, the Enniskillen Dragoons and Fusiliers. Yeah, so it's an excellent museum, well worth reading up on the history. And this is the West Bridge as we know it. The new one and the old one. So when we were young cubs,
Only the old one?
the old one was the only one, which has a lovely coat of arms on the right hand side over there. Just go over there. Once we pass this, then we go past the police station, and then we're heading towards the lock gates in Batora, otherwise known now as Enniskillen Royal Grammar School. There we are. Beautiful view looking up towards my old school. Passing Enniskillen Royal Grammar School. Let's give it its full title now, although I still call it Batora. Many famous old boys went there, including myself. Oscar Wilde, Samuel Beckett, Henry Francis Light, who wrote Abide With Me. That's one of the big things. Now see our first sighting of the lock gates. And this is the division between the upper and lower. Yeah. So we're currently on the upper, and we're moving towards the lower. It's sort of the reverse of what you would think. Yeah, you'll see kingfishers sometimes go across here. You just see a blue flash. So am I right in saying you can control the level of the lakes here?
Yeah, they control the level of the upper lake.
Yeah, yeah. So we go through to the left here, and then we're in the lower lock. We'll also see here on the left Batora Castle, which is ruins, but it's another historical castle. My captain is steering his ship very carefully through this narrow waterway. So this is Silver Hill Bay. Rory had another name for it, but I won't repeat it, and we'll just leave it at that. But so Rory tells me this is Buttermilk Point. Okay. And we're not that far from Devenish Island, I would have thought. Devenish is... Yeah. Will we stop there on the way back? Get it on the way back. We're building ahead of steam.
There's leaks there.
I think that's where we fished.
Yeah, it is.
So we're just passing the west jetty of Devenish Island. There's a great view of Devenish. And Rory tells me this is Sandy Bay, where a lot of people would come and do swimming. Years ago, when there was no swimming pools. Sandy Bay. It's obviously quite sandy there, Rory.
It is. It's sort of flat bottom.
There's another superb picture of Devenish. As Ted Hastings would say, we're sucking diesel now. Rory has it flat to the mat. We're even overtaking boats now. I'm getting the captain's view now. I'm right up and beside the cockpit here. So we're heading now for Inishmacsaint Island, and we're going to disembark and explore the island and see the ruins of the church and the cross. When's the caviar and the tuna sandwiches been served?
You don't bring it in your rucksack?
It's in my rucksack, right. Shucks, Andrea forgot to make them for me. So this is a bit like celebrity silhouette going into dock. It's except this time the captain, he doesn't need a pilot to come along, he can do it himself. You're much superior to the captain of Celebrity Silhouette. Right.
I don't think so.
Well, he has a pilot. The pilot comes across.
He comes on board.
Yeah, and guides him in. He literally takes the wheel.
He takes onto the ship.
Yeah. There's the sign, Inishmacsaint. Now we are just tying up the boat now, but captain of the ship has instructed me to stay in my seat, which will be a reflection of my experience of boats. And what we're seeing here now is supper, or is it lunch? So Rory's got the rod out, and he's got the maggots. He's going to try and catch lunch. I tell you. So there's the bait. I wouldn't like that for my lunch. Four shot. So the float is sitting there nicely. So if it's underneath the water when we come back, then we're going to have lunch. Okay. I'm going to explore the island now. I think this is going to be a Fermanagh tourism video, or a bit of a hike now to the ruins. Oh, hi. Oh, it's like the Lake District, climbing over rocks. Oh, here's the church and the big cross. Okay, I'll have to read up on the history of this place. This is quite exciting. Little tree in front that says Inishmacsaint Church and Cross State Care Monument. Wow, that's quite a cross. Yeah, it's great. Quite excited to have seen this today. There's the cross. Rory's disappeared. Walk right around the church. So the big question is, have we caught a fish? And the answer to that question is, well, I'm sorry, it looks like it's a no, because the float's still bobbing about. Unless it's been a clever fish? No. We're leaving Inishmacsaint, and we are now going to head across the loch to the other shore. So we're heading now into, see this boat over here? This is the old Endeavour, which we all have fond memories as kids. It was the boat that went up the loch, took all the school groups, tourists. Quite an old, quite a big boat really, wasn't it? Took quite a few people on it. It was called the Endeavour, and this is where this is its graveyard basically. So it wasn't scuttled, but did it just run aground?
It was just left there, just parked up.
It was just parked there?
As far as I understand it, but who knows?
We're just going to go in a little bit closer. Begin to see the size of it.
Beautiful, really.
It is. A sad end for a sort of very good vessel. Manor House Hotel and its marina. And chalets. At the yacht club now. There's a nice number of yachts out.
Good to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a good bit of sailing going on here in front of us. So this is Rory, and now we are going to swing round to the mighty Devenish Island. There is the tower. There it is, Devenish Island. Devenish, this famous round tower, and then the monastery, the monastical ruins at the back. So we're going to explore this. Here we go, coming into land. So we've managed to moor on Devenish. Took us a bit of time because the wind was quite strong, kept pushing Rory back out. So we went around the far side. But here we are. This is Devenish Island. There's a round tower. I've been here many times. Be ashamed to miss out on it today when we're here. So here we have some of the history. Founded by St Mallas in the 6th century, the monastery of Devenish Island was among the most important of Lough Erne's many island monasteries. Standing over St Mallas's grave here. Coffin. I think you can. Are you meant to?
You fit in.
You fit into it, and then you roll over. It's some sort of thing that brings you luck or brings you good fortune or whatever it is.
Or you die in 3 months.
That's what it is. Okay. Here's the tower. The tower looks like inside. Series of ladders would have taken you right up to the top.
How important you were, the higher up you went.
It was built in the 12th century. Not the 6th century, so St Mallas's church was built in the 6th century, so this came later. Beacon of faith. Steps look a wee bit rusty, so I'll just go up to the top for the fun of it. And that's it. And then
There's no ladders.
there's no ladders, no, but you can just see up to where you could have gone. Yeah. Okay. And here's the monastery or the abbey ruins. And yeah, there's a little bit to explore here. Have a look at the cross over here. The cross is quite significant. And we're going to do a little bit of climbing in here, I think. Woo. Oh. There's what it looks like. Ooh. I think. Is it in here we go?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going in the footsteps of the monks. Yeah. Up and up and up. Some of those steps have seen better days. Yeah, very well worn. Oh, watch the head. Oh, now we're up. Now we're up.
2 more levels.
2 more levels, yeah. It's a bell tower, yeah. So here we go. There you have the tower. Oh yeah, you gotta see all that as well. Incredible what they could do in those days. Further part of the abbey.
Courtyard probably is here.
Yeah.
Oyster.
Yeah. 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 Just gonna walk down to the toilet. So I think there's a little museum down here, so we'll have a wee look at it. Museum here. Just gonna have a wee look at it. There's a representation of what it looked like in its heyday. It's incredible. There's all of this. So we're just leaving Devenish Island, heading for Enniskillen, and we're being met by the water taxi, the yellow water taxi, bringing some more customers to Devenish Island. So we're now back at the Lough Gate, and the Kestrel tourist boat is coming out of the Lough Gate, heading to Devenish once more. There's quite a few on it. There's the, what do you call them, water bikes? Hydro bikes. There's only two of them.
Yeah.
And we're heading to the end of the trip.